ask. If you got questions that you always wanted to ask me, you always wondered or whatever, just put it in the YouTube chat there, and I'll do my best to try and ask these questions or answer these questions. Do we have one?
I believe, I'm scrolling back up to it. I think you kind of almost touched on it a little bit.
Okay.
Patty had a question. So she wanted to know where did you grow up and how many places have you lived?
That's kind of a lot.
Well, I tell you, Chattanooga's always been home. Even when I moved away, I would always come back here. I discovered Harrison Bay 25 years ago, something like that or whatever, and it's pretty much where I've spent the last almost half of my life, right here in Harrison Bay now. But we lived in Kentucky. Used to work in E-Town, Kentucky. Lived in Louisville. Louisville's a great town to be a part of. And worked in E-Town. Lived in Knoxville for a long time, Knoxville, Tennessee. Another great place to live. And when I was living there, they haven't built all of what's called Turkey Creek and all that up there. But you're elevated when you're in Knoxville, so you'd get a lot more snow in Knoxville. Lived in Georgia for a little bit. I won't ever live in Georgia if I can help it again, because of the taxes there. But for a little bit lived in Georgia, moved away to Kentucky, moved back to Georgia, and then lived in Tennessee till I bought this house. But pretty much always been here as a kid.
Where were you born, sir?
Where was I born? Right here in Chattanooga.
Where did you live with your mama when you were born?
3307 Rendezvous Drive.
That's right.
I still, they taught us when we were kids, they taught you two things first time you walked through the door. They taught you where you lived, what your address was in case you come up missing, and what your phone number was, right? They always taught you that. Our phone number was 423-825-0214, okay? And I lived at 3307 Rendezvous Drive in Lookout Valley.
That's right.
And when I came into the scene, my dad was 40 years old. Must have been pissed off when I got here. Because
yes, he was.
I could imagine if I was 40 and a new kid came along, like, damn it. You got to start all over or whatever. Everybody was pissed off. My brothers and sisters they all had one foot out the door trying to get the hell out.
I know.
My brother Andy was going off to college. Sam, my other brother, he moved down the street, lived with a neighbor, And, my sister Judy, we saw her periodically, but they all scattered to the winds and left me with them.
Because she was the baby.
Yeah, and then Mom and Daddy got a divorce when I was probably about 13, I guess.
Yeah.
And so I was born in the 60s, and the world and every world around me was pissed off about something. But back to my brother, I was telling that story earlier. I mean, that's what you got to do. You got to celebrate people's lives, okay?
Yes.
And I write a lot about it. And by the way, thank you for everybody that sent messages wanting to know where the morning post was. I wanted to post, listen, I got my own problems. You have to deal with your own today. But I didn't. I always write about, do what you want to do. My brother lived his life the way he wanted to. And everybody be damned, okay? He did what he wanted to do, stubborn to the very last minute.
Amen to
That's
that.
all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah.
But, he was a country boy. He loved being in Alabama. He was... that's just what he wanted to do, and he wanted to live on the land, and that's how he lived his life, and he did what he wanted to, owned his own trucking business, dump trucks and this and that and all this stuff, and it's not for everybody, but it was for him, and that's all that really matters.
Right. Edward Contreras says, how many of those Miller beers did you have before those pigs got out?
Well, I mean, it happened so fast.
Of course it did.
Yeah.
When they got out of when we took them down the very nice ramp that we'd built, and and back then, we didn't have money for lumber, right? So you'd go tear down a barn. Mm-hmm. Somebody wanted a barn tore down, or we took, we went to the sawmill and bought sawmills. I mean, so these were sawmill 2x4s that you would use, right out of oak trees and stuff. Bend a 16-penny nail like it wasn't nothing, because it's so damn hard. We would tear down a barn and straighten out the nails.
Straighten out the nails. Now, I remember when you told me this story, I was like I can just imagine you hammering out a nail, trying to get it straight so you could build with it again.
Well, yeah. Well, you take all the nails out of the wood, right?
Sure, yeah,
you put them in a bucket.
Right.
And then, later on, you would take those nails and you would straighten all those nails out and put them in another bucket. And then you got a bucket full of nails that you can use.
Built many a treehouse that way.
Yeah. Because, back then they made things better. The nails would last longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'd tear down a barn and build another one out of it, or build a fence, or this or that or whatever. So when they come down that really nice ramp, right up into the fence they went. It's almost like they were sitting in the back of the truck like, all right, here's what we're going to do. As soon as we go down there, you see that little opening over there under that fence, we're going straight out there and we're not looking back.
Eric and Rick chimed in and said that they remember straightening nails too and reusing them. They had to do that too.
Sure, yeah.
And Verona, she said we had to straighten nails because her dad saved everything.
That's right, yeah.
And so did Beth Travers. Ultimate recycling. Isn't that the truth?
Yeah. Well,
I just learned how to make, little seed starter kits out of toilet paper roll holders. I thought, that's amazing.
I know.
It is recycling.
I have this new home office upstairs, and I'll be in the middle of something. She'll come in and say, you got to watch this. You got to watch this crazy guy.
Watch this crazy guy.
He'll take coffee grounds and turn it into an apple tree.
No, he takes the coffee grounds and makes great fertilizer for it. And then he was showing how to make an apple seed and turn it into an apple tree, just by sprouting it, So I was like, I'm going to try that because I've got Mercer Farms is, what are those called? Pink Ladies. Yeah, Pink Ladies.
Those are good apples.
They really are good apples.
Man, those are good apples.
No, Edward, I have not got.